Hey friends, I'm Nikki. I'm a homeschool mom to an only child going into 4th grade. This is going to be my 5th year of homeschooling. And I want to kind of talk to you if you're new or looking or interested in homeschooling. I have some books and resources and tips for you on how you might want to get started or if you should get started. So keep watching. This is our 5th year of homeschooling. We've been homeschooling since she was in kindergarten. So she's really never had like the school experience. But it has just been a thriving journey, mostly all good. This last year was kind of bumpy, but for overall, like the best thing we've ever done. But I have a couple books that I like to point out to people who are kind of new because this really helped me in the beginning. And if I can help like anybody get started with homeschooling, like I love that. I'm going to say there are a few things that are a little bit more challenging for some families and some things that you may really have to ask yourself why you really want to homeschool. Homeschooling is not going to solve your problems. It's not. In fact, it's probably going to add a lot of problems. And it's going to, I don't like the word problem. It's going to add a lot of, it's going to add a layer onto your problems, and it's just going to be a new set of challenges for you and your family. But I don't want that to let that discourage you, but I need you to be real with yourself, right? Like, if you think you're going to solve your child's ADHD or, behavioral issues by just bringing it all on home, well, no, like, you're not going to solve that problem just by homeschooling. You're going to solve that problem by learning their behavior and like trying to help them change that behavior. But that's not just going to be like a solution that's going to come easily. But if you're new and you're starting out, one of the books that I recommend getting is Home Learning Year by Year. So if you're kind of stuck on where you want to start, how you want to start, if you want curriculum, if you want to use unit studies, if you want to use nature, if you want to use Charlotte Mason, there's a lot of different ways on which you can homeschool, and you have to find what's best going to work for you. But this book is really going to break down that year by year education and what needs or should be learned in that year. And I say that very loosely. It really depends on your state. You might want to look up your state and your state's laws and requirements for homeschooling. And you can do that on the HSLDA website, which I will try to remember to link down below. But this book, so let's just say I'm going into grade 4. So grade 4 is chapter 9. It's going to talk about all the subjects here. So we're going to have language arts. In 4th grade, kids in public school classes are expected to be competent readers using their expertise for a wide variety of literacy and informational purposes. The truth of the matter, of course, is that due to development, motivational, or just plain whimsical differences, kids attain literacy fluency at different ages. It's going to talk about the type of books that they read, or it's going to give you resources. So if you're overwhelmed by curriculum, grab some books. Like, they're suggesting them for you, right? Like, this one is The Book of Three, Harry Potter, The Lightning Thief, The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, My Side of the Mountain. It wants you to read a wide range of age-appropriate fiction and non-fiction materials. And then a variety of sources to obtain the information. Then it has like writing. They should have mastered cursive if you decide to do that. Write fluidly and legibly. They could tie in art or try calligraphy. And then it has a bunch of resources listed in the book. And then it's going to go into, like, they should be able to create multi-paragraph compositions, capital letters, punctuation, listening and speaking skills. Then it's going to go into mathematics and what they should know by that, how to study. Then it's going to have your history and what they should know or attain about history, fiction, nonfiction resources for history. Then it's going to have science, the science, hang on, like the history of science. It's going to go into Earth and space and the different arts and visual arts and what music they should know and drama and life skills. He talks about the kids from ages 10 to 13 are capable of doing more and more on their own. Computer and technology, engineering. It honestly has so many good nuggets, and you're gonna get all years in here. At least I believe through high school this goes. Yes, so this is grade preschool to grade 12 and moving on. So this is home learning year by year, and so I just find it so fun to read through because you just may feel overwhelmed or you just want something different, and it will give you an idea or spark an inspiration. You can go to the library, you can get the resources that you need to get. Then we have this book, which is by Core Knowledge, what your third grader needs to know. I did not yet purchase the fourth grader one, but this is similar, except it's going to dive in and give you actual information. You could just read straight out of this book. Like you can utilize this as like your year-long curriculum. Now, I'm not saying you should use this as the only thing that you use, but this has been revised and updated. This is like the newer version. It's going to have beautiful illustrations, but it's going to have all your subjects. It's going to have poems, literature, language, world and American history and geography, visual arts, music, math, science. So you could just go, it's color coded. So like this orange section is history and geography. It's going to talk about all the things that you need to know in your kids or child's level. And it's also going to have other resources in here as well. It's going to have like notes to the parents, and I have loved looking through this over the years. We have used this a few times, and that's why I have these tabs in here. But this is a really good resource. I'm not sure what grade this goes up to, but it's definitely a must if you are just kind of stuck and need somewhere to start with your homeschooling. Get yourself a pencil and a pen. You don't need a lot to get started with homeschooling. You just need to show up to wherever you want in your house. It could be on your porch, at your kitchen table. You don't need a designated space. I'm in my basement, and I just have a table, and I have a built-in behind me that was there when we moved into the house. You don't need a lot. Don't think you have to buy all the things. Start with something as basic as this. Decide, do I want a curriculum? Do I want a Christian curriculum? Do I want a secular curriculum, which is a which doesn't include God or religion? So you have to decide what is going to work best for you, but that doesn't all have to come at once. If you think that you just need to homeschool your kid because you want to better their lives and enrich their futures by giving them travel and all the things that you're not able to do if they're in a regular school setting, by all means, give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen? They can't really fall behind. And kids are going to learn everywhere. They don't need to sit at a desk and learn for 8 hours a day or 5 hours a day, whatever it is. They need to be out. They need to be playing. They need to be with their family. So those are some things just to get started and to kind of just ease you in until you figure out what you really want. And maybe from there it'll spark more interest, or you'll see where your child is at. You can try to learn their learning style. There are learning style quizzes you could take. to try to figure out what your child's learning style is. Are they auditory? Are they visual learners? Sorry, I was saying style when I meant what type of learner are they. And then you have to figure out what style works for my family. Are we a read from real books kind of family? Are we a traditional curriculum kind of family? You have to decide. There's a bunch of different styles and a bunch of different learning ways that your kids can learn. But that's like what should be your focus when you're first getting started, is to kind of just observe and just see where they're at. For all you know, they may surprise you. They may blow your socks off, or they may be really struggling and you realize that, like, wow, they were really behind at school and I didn't know it. Or maybe they never went to school and your child's a kindergartner and you're like, I don't know if I could do this. You can. You can. You can. You can. There are so many resources available to us homeschoolers, and I hope that you can take advantage of that. This is just a little prerequisite of how I would start getting started. First, check your laws, your state laws, what is expected of you to homeschool in your state, and then kind of just observe your child. Sit down with a pencil and a paper, grab some books from the library, and observe. Do some basic math that you know. Find where they're at. Get a cool workbook off Amazon and just see if they struggle, where they struggle. Maybe they thrive. Maybe they'll find that they hate workbooks and maybe they want to do something like an online curriculum. There are different things for every child. You just have to figure out what they need. And it's not difficult. It's not easy, but I wouldn't say it's difficult. I think that you could just sit there, observe, and go with the flow. Don't take all the stress, and breathe. Release your shoulders and your tongue, and just like, you're going to be okay. Just take the little step into the water and try it out. That's all you can do, right? All right, let me know if you have comments for me in the comment section down below, and I'll see you in my next video.